The whole journey actually started with just me trying to lose my pregnancy fat. Oh, आपकी बेटी भी और आप ऐसे हो. Initially my calisthenics life, I was, I was, I sucked. I used to cry, and I remember like for a fact that someone telling me, if you win, then there are many girls who will get motivated to go in the future, for calisthenics competitions. Because I cannot afford to be unserious about my body now. And that's why I say, like, discipline is what is more important than motivation. If life was about passing and failing, I failed my ninth standard. I repeated it. But I don't see any difference. I'm still not where I want to be. I still have a long way to go. I'm 37. I might have less time. I don't know. But I'm not going to stop.
This is what happens when you don't quit. Meet Pearl Joseph, a mother and calisthenics athlete who turned pressure into power. Through doubt and responsibility, she kept showing up every single day. And it paid off. Silver medalist at the 2021 World Championship Endurance and multiple-time national champion in India. From almost quitting to representing India on the global stage. This isn't just fitness, it's resilience, identity, and pure grit.
What is your story?
Okay, firstly, I'll start with my introduction. My name's Pearl, also known as Fit Mom, and a pretty long story where I started off in 2019. I'm also a mother to a 9.5-year-old, who's a girl, and my journey mainly started with calisthenics, which was in 2019, and today it's been almost 7.5 years of my journey. I am not just a mother, but I'm a coach. I'm also an athlete. I've represented nationally, internationally. Also, someone who's had a lot of struggles initially, but at the same time believed that there was more to me than just, being a mother or a woman or a wife for that matter. And that is something which I got through calisthenics, which is why my name was known as Fit Mom. And today people actually don't know my name when they come up to me and they're like, Fit Mom, but aapka actual naam kya hai? So yeah, I've had those incidences too. But yeah, it's a journey with a lot of hard work and a lot of support from my husband as well. So there's something that I feel like if it was not for him, maybe I wouldn't even be where I am, as an athlete or as a person today. So if I had to speak about how I started my journey in calisthenics, I mean, to be pretty honest, the whole journey actually started with just me trying to lose my pregnancy fat. And I was not expecting it to be this far where I am today. Well, because initially it was just about, कि भाई ये weight loss करना है इतना सा, and basic, like very basic. I remember very profoundly when I was watching a video which was shown by a friend, and I saw this girl do pull-ups, and I clearly remember that I said it to myself, and I was telling this person also that मुझे भी ये try करना है. Like, I also want to do this. Like, if she can do it as a girl, then I want to try this. And that's when I got introduced to Elysium. And I remember going there and I said, I want to learn pull-ups. And that time I was not very knowledgeable about calisthenics. For me, it was just, I didn't even know that doing pull-ups or doing push-ups or just doing a squat was calisthenics initially. For me, it was in my head, it was just, I want to do this pull-up. And going there, it just made me realize that when I remember when I got my first pull-up, and I'm feeling so nervous to even say it, because when I actually had my first pull-up, I thought कि अब तो सीख लिया, अब now what? You know, I thought that that would be my thought, but it wasn't, because after learning the first pull up, I started getting this kind of a, I would say hunger, or some kind of a potential that I started seeing in myself. Like, if I'm able to do this, then maybe I should keep doing this more often. And when you keep doing something more often, you will surprise yourself. And I think I actually surprised myself with, you know, एक पुल अप हो गया, दो पुल अप हो गया, बट अब मुझे पांच सीखना है. So that was the hunger, and I didn't want to stop. Like, there was something that just didn't let me stop, and I don't think it was anything else, but it was me myself. I mean, yeah, I mean, I still feel very, very, kind of, I would say very emotional when it comes to that part, because I still remember, like, ऐसा क्या देख लिया था मैंने अपने आप में. But now when I see that, I'm so glad that I did, that I went beyond that one pull up and two pull ups, and I didn't stop there, because if I stopped there, I wouldn't have this, beautiful body that I have for myself. And I love it. I really love my body. Every day in the mirror, when I see myself, I have a reason why I work out. Even today, I couldn't work out, but I made sure that I do something, because I feel those 5 pull-ups, those 10 pull-ups, today I can do what, 20 pull-ups in one go. And I'm saying it with pride. Like, I can wake up from my sleep and someone gives me a bar and I'll be like, 15 तो ऐसे ही हो जाएंगे नींद से उठ के भी. And it's a fact, but that's also because I believed in myself then. But I have a lot of people who are also very important, who made me believe in myself. So, I mean, obviously, it's very important to have that belief in yourself, but it's also very important to have the right people, because with the right people is when you will keep doing better in life. But never lose, you know, that faith. Like, because I always, as a kid, always wanted to get into sports, but I was not lucky enough. But I'm not going to say lucky; it'll sound very pitiful. I think it was just circumstances or situations, and ठीक है नहीं हुआ उस time पे. But today when I think of it, I really feel like I'm doing exactly what I thought I would want to do, like growing up as a child, because I was such a good runner in my school. I still remember, like, people calling me yeah, sprint queen or something. I still do. I was taken into a specific house color just because I was good at running. So ye bhi hua hai. So I think it's very important, like, and somewhere I feel I've manifested it also, like मेरे ye karna hai, mujhe ye karna hai, because I've worked in BPOs, I've worked in call centers, or whatever you call it. But वो जो एक अंदर की जो एक खुशी होती है ना, वो lacking थी, वो नहीं मिल रही थी मुझे. I mean, I had the money. I don't have that much of money as much as I used to earn then, being into a BPO or a call center. And I'm being very honest, because sometimes the things you need to love what you do. And today, even though I'm not very famous, or I might not have the most numbers, but I see a certain, I get these messages sometimes that आप कैसे कर लेते हो, you know. तो मैं वो messages जब मैं देखती हूँ, it makes me realize that I'm doing something right. Because if you're able to, out of 100 people, even if you're able to inspire even like 5 people, and from there on, those 5 people can keep, talking about it. And I feel that today, because I remember my husband got uh, like known because of me. It's like, are you Fit Mom's husband? And he comes home and he tells me, I don't even know this person, but met me at a shop, and it's like, you're Fit Mom's husband? And I was like, wow. So those are things which you can, like, yeah, I just feels really crazy, like, sorry. But it's a fact, like, it just makes you feel so proud. The fact that that one pull up पे, 2 pull up पे मैंने give up नहीं किया. क्योंकि अगर तब मैं give up करती तो शायद I wouldn't be able to inspire people. And I myself was inspired by somebody else. So for me, it was like, if I can be inspired by someone, I'm sure there'll be people who can be inspired by my journey too. And mainly for me, it was always about, because I started realizing that, yes, I am so much more than just being a girl, a woman, a mother, a wife, you know, because there are people who don't even know that I am, I have a daughter because of the way I look. But then when they find out that I have a daughter, it just gives them more reasons to, like, oh, आपकी बेटी भी और आप ऐसे हो. So it just goes to show that I've already built an identity of my own. And I think that's why I give so much of credit to myself also, because I mean, there's something that, apart from just, uh, I think the most important thing for me is that I need to be proud about what I'm doing, and I need to be happy about it. And it's not just the fact that हाँ आज वर्कआउट कर लिया तो 3-4 दिन ब्रेक ले लिया, ऐसे नहीं होता. And it's never like that. I mean, if you are working on something, and this is for every profession, I think, like if you really want to grow something, you have to like put in the work daily. It can't just happen एक महीना 2 महीना करके नहीं. And I think that's what uh, also made me win one of my most important competitions. But that's mainly because when I saw myself grinding, and also because I had so much of my daughter was pretty young, when I started initially calisthenics, 2019. She was like, what, 17, 18, 19. Barely 2.5, 3-year-old. And I used to, my husband used to be home, and I used to go evenings for my workout, because he used to come from work and then I would go for my workouts in the evening. And I remember like people saying to me that, oh, how do you leave your daughter? Matlab, a lot worse than that. I mean, I'm saying it really nicely, but for me, it was like, yeah, I mean, I have my husband at home, and he's also a father, right? तो वो भी ख्याल रख सकता है अपने बच्ची का, and I've already been there the whole day with her. So he's coming from work, and he's now going to be there with her for like barely 3 hours, because जाते आते वर्कआउट खत्म होते 3 घंटा हो ही जाता था. But I don't understand this, that why is it only a mother's duty to be in the house the whole day with, the child? I mean, it's equal responsibilities. Fair enough. I mean, I give a lot of credit to my husband, because he's also heard a lot of things, that how are you allowing this, and do you not have a problem, and all of those things have also come to me. But obviously now it's completely stopped, because I had to try to put a end to that. Like, what, this is my life, and I have a very supportive husband who doesn't have a problem. So I don't think anybody else should have a problem. I mean, unless if your husband is having a problem, then there is something that you need to really reflect, that if your husband is not going to push you to do something that you love, I mean, he is the person who's uh, taken your vows and सुख शांति सब चीज में आपका साथ देगा. तो I mean, if there is something that you really like, and if he's not going to be supportive, then it's a question that you need to ask yourself. But I think I do see a lot of supportive men in my life. Very few. I can just name them on the tip, but very rare, very few. But I think I'm lucky enough to have those few people, or few because I've got a lot of external support than internal, and I'm just going to be very honest. Like Miko, kuch I'm not feeling any kind of bad. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but I hope that through this I can tell people that please be supportive to your daughters, to your daughter-in-laws, or even to just your wife, like for that matter. Because I feel like I know, and I say this with experience, because I know for a fact that in my own family also, I feel there are so many people who might have just killed their dreams. And I don't think you should kill your dreams. I think you should do what you want to do in the end and what keeps you happy. Like, I have so many people ask me about my daughter, like, what do you think? What should she be? Bro, I don't know. How would I know? She's just 9 year old. And why do I want to know that at this point in her life? Let her enjoy her childhood. Let her do whatever she wants. She loves painting and she's so good at it. I mean, she loves maths, which I was really bad at. And if that is what she's good at, I might as well let her do it. और अगर कभी उसको ऐसे लगा कि वो बोर हो रही है and she failed, but I think that's what failure does, right? To you, like, it kind of makes you do better. I've also failed. I've been a very bad athlete also. I'm being very honest. I was not a very good athlete. Initially my calisthenics life, I sucked. I used to cry. I used to cry really bad, and I used to be so aggressive, like, कि मैं हार गई हूँ तो अरे चीटिंग हुई होगी, कुछ तो हुआ होगा, होती भी थी, वो अलग बात है. But I there was one competition which taught me that it's beyond just being an athlete. If you're going as it's your country, like, you also have a country that you represent. So it was that. But I think failure should never be taken uh, in the wrong way. I feel today when I see my failures, all my failures, I've had the worst injuries. I just came from an injury, my rib injury, where I couldn't even sit like this. I couldn't even talk. I couldn't breathe properly. 25 days I was rest, doing nothing. And trust me, the first week was just me trying to take it in. Like, oh, it's going to take another 1 week. And then the second week made me realize, okay, I'm not getting back anytime sooner. And those 25 days of, that is also failure only in a way. No workout, doing nothing, not able to do your daily routine, which you're so used to in the last 6 years, 7 years. And you're just like completely like off routine. All you're doing is waking up, getting your daughter ready, and ideally, after getting your daughter ready, you're going for your workout. But no, that's not happening. And that's completely changed. So it just gave me a sense of thought ki maybe this is something more than just my body and all. It is more to do with me mentally. How can I take this, in and try to change it and maybe come back better, come back stronger? So, yeah, failure for me is never a failure. It is just a lesson, a way to grow, a way to learn and do better. Like, don't obviously, just because you made this a mistake doesn't mean you keep making the same mistakes and take it, haan, theek hai yaar, I will learn it someday. No, that's not how it works. If you've made a mistake, if you know that why you lost this competition, the only way to get better is you learn from it and don't try to do it again. Because if you're trying to do it again, then that's not a mistake. Then you're not learning. You're just doing it for the sake of it. तो वो नहीं होना चाहिए. And maybe that is also a way to success. That learn from your mistakes. Don't take it with you. Instead, do something different which will help you for your next competition.
What is calisthenics in simple terms?
Uh, if I had to keep it like really simple, then calisthenics is all about body weights. For example, if I had to give you a very good example, then the best one would be lockdown. Like in 2020, obviously we didn't have the gyms open, we didn't have our parks, everything was shut. And I think that is when calisthenics also kind of, caught its, got the, what do you say, attention that it needed and got it. Because I remember during lockdown, everybody was just working out at home. And what can you do at home? Like you do squats, you do some push-ups, you do some burpees, you do some jumping jacks, and you can do so many things. And it was all of this you can do at home, and this is all a part of calisthenics. So yes, calisthenics is very wide. It's got different categories. Like you've got freestyle, you've got you've got endurance, which I do, you've got street lifting, you've got statics like handstands or something. And trust me, handstand is also something people started actually practicing at home. And you don't need anything. All you need is just a wall. You go against a wall, start practicing with the wall support, and then slowly start building on that. Because I remember people actually started practicing handstands at home during lockdown, and one of them being me too, because uh, I wanted to learn a handstand, and I took some tips and advices from one of the coaches, in calisthenics. But the initial route that I actually built in my handstand today, when I think of it, it's actually during lockdown. And it was during that period when I used to practice it every second or third day at home, because we had so much of time, everybody was home. And I used to do so many burpees during the lockdown. I have done so much of cardio, like push-ups kitne mare. I remember the World Push-Up Day also, which happened one of the I think it was in May or something, and I hit around 2000 or something push-ups. Yeah, and that was just at home doing like no equipments, nothing. So I feel, yeah, it is best explained that calisthenics can be done anytime, anywhere.
You won silver at the World Championship. What was that like?
Oh, that's I think that is when I felt that I'm so glad I did not stop at that one pull up, because if I did, I wouldn't win. But it's also one of my most favorite competitions, obviously because I won. So it's always going to be my favorite. But it's also something that made me realize that I'm so glad I did not give up or, ever stop, because I started in 2019, like profoundly, properly under my coach, Shubham. But that competition, I also remember clearly that I was not keeping very well. And ideally, that competition was going to happen in 2020, but lockdown happened. So, who had already qualified were the same people who would go through in 2021. And मुझे अभी भी याद है वो competition में when I reached Russia, it was 9 degrees. And now it's 3 days away from the competition, and I'm calling my coach and I'm like this on the call, like shivering, because it's 9 degrees. Hello, we are Indians. And we start feeling at 15 and 16. So 9 degrees was like a little too much for me, and I started getting scared because the weather condition was such that I started feeling that how am I going to do it, and then it's competition के एक दिन पहले it's come to 7 degrees, and the actual day of the competition it's showing 6 degrees, and it's windy, it's raining, and in an open space, it was like a full on open space, and I'm shivering, I'm doing burpees, I'm having coffee, but I'm not feeling it. Like my warm-ups are like every 5 minutes I'm doing 30 burpees, 20 burpees, still not feeling it. Jacket, like I've worn a jacket and I'm doing all of that. I went on a group call with the people, like the closest people that are close to me, my coach, my two of my closest friends, my husband. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? It's so cold here. Like, the body ज़्यादा ठंड लग रही है मुझे. So it's like, just do it. Just believe in yourself. You've trained for it, and blah blah blah. आ गया, and it's come. Like the time has come where I have to go and perform. I'm not lying. I was crying while performing. I had feeling that muscle, like इतना वॉल्यूम नहीं डाला है, सब कुछ डाला है, but कुछ असर नहीं हो रहा, बिल्कुल भी कुछ, nothing is working. And I don't know, at that time the only thought in my head is I'm here to win. That's it. I have to win. I have to go back with this. I had this thought that when I go back, I want to have, and also because I was the first girl who who got qualified, and the first girl who went to participate in calisthenics. And I remember, like, for a fact that someone telling me कि if you win, then there are many girls who will get motivated to go in the future, for calisthenics competitions. Just what I wanted also. And that was the semi-finals. I got you know included in the finals, so I had to perform again. So दो sets होते हैं, दो routines. It was a good 100 reps. If you start with pullovers, then you go with pull-ups, then immediately push up. Whoever does, my time was really bad, I'm being honest. And I tried that routine when I came to India. It was a much better time. But that's also because of weather conditions. We don't think of it, but actually it matters a lot. And it matters in every sport. Just like we think of it as any other sport, then yes, if you call a international athlete to perform here, it's definitely going to be different for them as well. It's the same thing for me because we're so used to like 17 to 25. For me, working out in a 30-degree is normal. I can do that. I've done that. But for me, working out at a 10 degrees and a 8 degrees it was massively a big, it was a complete switch. But at that point, it was in my head that I just want to win and I want to be that person who's the first girl in India to win a championship or World Cup stage, which is through WSWCF. So it happened in Russia. Yeah. So for me, that's I don't think I can ever. I'm waiting for my daughter to someday ask me what trophy is this like, and I can tell her this whole incidents, or rather, I would want to tell her about it. And I also feel like I've had so many trophies in my house now. I do have so many trophies. I remember coming with one of the trophies home. I'm just deviating, but it's very cute. That's why I came home with one trophy home, and my daughter opened the door. This was, I think, last to last year, 2023. It's like she opens the door and she's like, "Oh, oh, okay, you won again. Cool." So it was so, you know, and I mean the reason it makes me feel so happy is because उसके लिए ऐसा हो गया दिमाग में, हाँ मेरी मॉम कंपटीशन करेगी तो ट्रॉफी तो आ ही जाएगी, कुछ ना तो कुछ घर आएगा. So it was that thought, and I don't compete as much, but I have a reason for that as well. uh, I don't compete as much as I used to because obviously I started to feel like अगर मैं ही सब कुछ जीतूंगी तो फिर दूसरों को भी तो चांस मिलना चाहिए ना. एंड ऑल्सो बिकॉज इट्स समथिंग दैट आई heard from one of the events that we went for, a calisthenics girls India event. We were in Bangalore and someone just said it very randomly, Ari, how will we compete with you and Satya and Arpana? These are some of the strongest girls that I'm naming in calisthenics. And it just hit me so hard दैट एक्चुअली वो जो टॉप 3 जो लिया उन्होंने नाम, यही तो होता है, मतलब आपस में ही हमारे होता है कि इट्स आइदर गोना बी पर्ल और सत्य ऐसे होता है. So it just made me realize that maybe it's time to like let them also get that feel, like take that challenge of because I don't want them to be intimidated by us. I want them to be a little more believing in their strength. But then I know it's tough because the challenges that we do, it's a lot more than just a basic Australian pull up or a basic jump squat or something. So I wanted that thought that if they can go international, because even Satya has gone international, because the second time when I went international, which was in Latvia, I lost, which is what I was talking about, being a bad athlete. I was not a very but sometimes it's beyond you being an athlete, it's also about your country. So at that, I remember the 2022 competition where I went to Latvia. I was sulking and I was crying, and I was so, for me it was like मेरा तो हो गया ना, मैं तो हार गई, मैं क्यों जाऊँ अंदर इनको सपोर्ट करने. बट I don't know what, I was talking to my coach, and because I was crying for 1 hour, I was crying, and I remember I was crying because I was on video call and continuously crying, and they're telling me, go in, it's okay, it's fine, you're still the best, you're this, that. But कुछ तो ऐसा था मेरे को कि फील ही नहीं हो रहा था मेरे को कि मैं वापस अंदर जाऊँ, यू नो द बिकॉज आई लॉस्ट इंटरनेशनली। तो बहुत ही हैवी फील हो रहा था मेरे को, और वो भी ऐसे कि मैं जीत चुकी हूँ इंटरनेशनल। बट आई थिंक दैट वाज अ लेसन फॉर मी दैट sometimes you have to see beyond your defeats also. I mean, it's not just about losing, but then you have people around you who are also participating, and you need to, उनको भी आपको सपोर्ट करना है, उनके लिए भी चेयर करना है। और मेरे को आई रिमेंबर व्हेन आई केम टू इंडिया, आई समवन टोल्ड मी, अरे फिट मॉम आप जैसे चेयर कर रहे थे ना, वो लाइव वीडियो में दिख रहा था हमें, and it just changed my that it just made me realize that day when that person said, अरे मज़ा आ गया आपको देख के, आप जैसे चेयर कर रहे थे सबके लिए, और आप तो आई मीन यू ट्राइड योर बेस्ट, यू लॉस्ट, but still the way you were cheering for all the other athletes, it was crazy, and that was one. And then I'm seeing like 2 3 people say the same thing to me, and made me realize that as an athlete, this is what is important, to have a teamwork. Like if you're going as a team, as a country, you need to be supportive of your other athletes as well. It's just not about you growing, but you need to be supportive about others growing as well. And that defeat was for that only. Otherwise, I would have always been a sulker. कि मतलब हारी तो बस रोना है, और interest nahi hai, and all of that. But I think that defeat was needed for me, because without that defeat, I would have always been like, no, I to always win only. So it was important. That's why I feel like failures and defeats or losses, these are things to redirect your mind mentally, that it's okay, there is certain things beyond that also. So yeah. So that 2021 is super important. Like it's both, actually, both these competitions are very important, because one was a proper win-win, and one was like, win karne ke baad agle saal hi defeat. So I think it was needed, and it seems very, you know, like as if the universe only wanted me to see that defeat, so that I can grow beyond just winning. It was not just about winning all the time. So yeah, that defeat was needed for me.
As you mentioned that you have quit participating in the tournaments,
Yeah.
aren't you doing injustice to your sacrifices by not participating in the tournaments?
Well, see, I don't see it as unjust. I just feel like I I am more than just an athlete now. Okay, I might be a good athlete, but I also want to see women do competitions more. And what I realized at that point, I can still compete, and I know that people love to see me compete, and I'm being honest, because when I'm on that bar, it's like, it's just me and my bar, that's it. And then everything around me is just noise. But the reason why I feel it's not unjust, it's more to do with growing, like, growing the calisthenics women base. Because I'm being honest, even now, if there's a competition, and I'm saying this with stats that I know, okay, even now, if there's a competition, there'll be 100 guys, but there'll be just 30 women. So that's the difference even now. So more than unjust, I feel it's to do with me trying to, take a step back, so that people can see that if I could do it, you can also do it. But you don't have to be intimidated. And again, I think it's unfair more than through, for me, it's not, but for the people who are just new, who want to participate. But then somewhere in their head, they know कि अगर हम इन तीनों के साथ participate करेंगे, we don't have a chance. We don't stand a chance. And it's a fact. Like initially, at least. Now also, if I start training, I'm what, 37? I know I can give a tough fight to a 27 or a 28-year-old or a 25-year-old also. I don't train that way. I don't train because competition training alag hoti hai. I don't train competition trainings. But if I do, I know I can give them a tough fight and I know I could win also, maybe possibly. But I don't want that. I want them to see beyond, and I want women to go international, which is what I was, telling someone that there's so many competitions, but it's not just about competing in India. It's going to another country and representing calisthenics, being a woman, being the girl, and saying, like, you know what, I did it.
You started at 30.
Yeah.
Is it really too late?
Uh, yeah, I'll be honest, like, it's not very early also. Because anything you do, I mean, even scientifically, right? Like how we say that men are stronger than women, which is it's true. It's not like you know क्या बोलते वो कुछ out of the box नहीं है ये चीज. It's true. Men are stronger than women. But at the same time, it's the same thing with your body. If you start working on something as a child, like, and then compared to you start working out at 20. So a 10-year-old and a 20-year-old will have a difference. It's the same thing. A 20-year-old and a 30-year-old will have a difference. So I don't regret. I do feel it sometimes. Obviously, I बहुत feel होता है कभी कभी because I always wanted to be in sports. Always wanted to do sports. I wanted to do something with sports because I was such a good runner. भागना पसंद था मुझे and लोगों से भी भागती हूँ मैं अभी. Joking, but jokes apart. But honestly, I think yeah, it matters a lot. If you start early, your body is different, and as women we go through changes, and I went through a very big change, which was my pregnancy, and then trying to come back to a normal body and all of those things. I don't regret it, but I wish and I hope that people who have the privilege or who have the the basics or basic needs or whatever they have in place, please do fitness, do any kind of fitness. It doesn't have to be uh, calisthenics because I'm saying it, but please, you can do calisthenics. I mean, it's one of the best and easiest also because you can do it anywhere. But I'll give you an example, like, a very good example to compare this 30 and a younger person. Because I remember when I started, it was quite quite my peak actually. I didn't even realize it, that it was my peak that was going on, because when I started, everything was happening really fast. Like for me, it was happening really quick for me. Like I'm learning pull-ups, I'm getting it. 6 months, I'm already like done with 10 pull-ups. 1 year, I'm already done with this. Like I'm already able to do 15 push-ups, 20 push-ups in one go. So what I realized is that at 30, if I'm able to do this, if I would have started at maybe 20 or 25, I could have increased these numbers a little more maybe. And I know there are people who are like, half my age. I'm not even lying, half my age. Like I'm saying because they're like what, 17 and 21 and 22. And when I see them do things, recovery is better. Obviously, recovery is better because you have a certain level of metabolism in your body, which also matters a lot. For that matter, I work for that and I've built my metabolism. I just did 1200 burpees recently, just now. Like in what, 3 hours 25 minutes, I did 1279 burpees. So that's for my cardiovascular, obviously. But then it also made me realize that this is something that I have built. It's not something that I had, because I was not always fit. I couldn't always do a 5 kilometers in 25 minutes. When I initially did my first run, it took me a good 40 minutes to do 5 kilometers, 40, 45 minutes. But today, In 45 minutes, I can easily cover a 7.5, 8 kilometer also. But that's because I worked on it. So clearly, like, starting early is always the best thing. And giving you an example, even why do we know of these hardcore gymnastic players who do Olympics? None of them are people who are starting at 15 and 20. No, they start at 7 and 8. That's why they are at that level, you know. And even look at even my one of my favorite, uh, Virat. I mean, I really like that guy. He also started pretty early. He had a downfall, he had some phases, and then he realized, oh, I need to take my fitness seriously. Because if you see a younger Virat and you see the Virat now, like, the young Virat looks someone who's a little laid back and all these. That's when I actually started liking Virat, because it made me realize that, oh wow, what a transformation. And his transformation also came after like 26, 27. Till 24, though, he was also just like, you know, um, cricket, he definitely loved cricket, but he had distractions. And I think that was what is so important for every athlete. तो तुम 30 में शुरू करो या फिर 10 के उम्र में शुरू करो. Like, if you start at 10, but if you're a person who's been distracted with years, then it's, but someone like me, or even for him for that matter, I really like him because I compare myself to him. Why? Because we are the same age. And even at 37, he's absolutely fit. But was he the same person 10 years or 15 years back? No, he wasn't. He also built himself. And that made him realize that, no, I need to take my fitness seriously. वो जैसे उसने एक चीज बोला था कि I cannot have a chole bhature every day now. I can have it as a cheat meal. So it's the same thing. We have to build on it. A 10-year-old or a 15-year-old can maybe have cheat meals every 2-3 days. I cannot have a cheat meal every day or every 3-4 days. No, I would rather have a workout every day and then have a cheat meal once. Like, I am capable enough of finishing a cake, which I have. I have proof. Like, my friends have seen me have a full cake because I was celebrating. Why? Something, कुछ तो milestone किया होगा मैंने. I'm very sure something, because I've done it a couple of times. But it happens once in a while. But again, if you're going to compare a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old, no, it's going to be a lot of difference. His training will be different. My training will be different. My recovery will be different. His recovery or her recovery will be different. And I think there's a reason why I try to get in my workouts, because I cannot afford to be unserious about my body now, because I'm reaching an age where muscle is very important for my body as a woman. Okay. And we we keep saying, like, why do we need muscles in women? But I'm sorry, if you want to grow better or look better when you're aging, then the right thing to do is have muscle in your body.
I'm a bit confused, Pearl, that your full name is Pearl Monteiro. But then I can see a Trishul on your shoulder, which is a Hindu element with regards to Shivji. So, can you please elaborate that story for us? That how you got that tattoo? Where did it come from?
Okay, so to be very honest, like, I do believe in Mahadev, and I also recently had gone to Jain as well. So I mean, I come from a Christian family. It's really, and if this goes out, it's going to be more in the open then, which is fair enough by me, and I don't take any kind of downgrading or any degrading in this. I am, and it's not also something to blabber about or brag about, but I have my faith and I have my reasons for that. And I remember also, because I have some beautiful people with me, like I spoke about initially. I have very few people in my life, but and those few people, I only learn and I only try to learn the better things or the good things in life from them. And one of them was being, inspired or other learning the power of silence, which, is so important because I've been such a hyper person. I've been so, I would also say, like, because of not having the best kind of teen or childhood, I've always been very hyped as a child, like very also at certain points I was also very rebellious, temper issues or anger issues and all. But obviously, calisthenics changed a lot of those things. But still, I had some issues. And I have a friend of mine, she told me, like, listen to listen to these songs, like listen to Mahadev songs. And I और मेरे को ऐसे सुनना ही में आता था कि मेरे पार्क में कोई तो महादेव गाना or there is it's playing, it's like, that Shiv Tanduram and all those songs are playing and all. And one day I just decided to listen to it. And this was early, I think late 2021s maybe. And I started listening to these songs. And sometimes I feel I know more bhajans than many Hindus would. I'm not even kidding. I know the Sanskrit one, which is Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. So yeah, I do, and I've been a little inclined towards it. And then I started listening to these songs, and and it used to, I wouldn't say it just changed me, but it used to give me some kind of a peace, like अच्छा लगता था. फिर मैंने वर्कआउट के टाइम भी शुरू कर दिया सुनना. और गुस्से में तो ज़्यादा सुनती थी मैं, अगर मेरे को थोड़ा कुछ I wanted to feel a little, calmness, or wanted to feel that competition से पहले वो रहता है ना एक अच्छा पावर चाहिए मुझे. So then I started listening to this every competition, like, and then even that, the Vastav movie song. Sorry, anybody who's Christian, please don't be, don't get me wrong, but it's a fact. Like I started getting very happy with these songs, rather maybe more some kind of an energy that I used to, feel. And I just slowly and gradually just started believing in it, that it is helping me. It's like helping me be calm, or helping me, like, even now I try to say Har Har Mahadev or Om Namah Shivaya every day, like just randomly. Also sometimes I also do say praise the Lord, I do. But I also say this. I believe that, I believe in it more to do with just the fact that it makes me feel that I'm human. If I have, I have not seen God. And I don't think anybody has, especially the ones who say that, how can you believe in any other God? But I haven't seen God. For me, God is something that comes through, peace. And if there is something that's giving me peace at that moment, for me, that's divine. And then there's something about it, right? Even my daughter gives me peace on days. So I also feel like sometimes worshiping her, like she also has brought so much of changes. So I got this in 2022. I remember this tattoo, and I get a tattoo every year almost. Almost every year I've got one tattoo for me. So that's a lot of tattoos that I have. And I got this and I said, now I want this year. So whenever I feel too much, कुछ भी ज्यादा फील हुआ मेरे को, तो मैं बस इधर देख के एक हर हर महादेव या ओम नमः शिवाय बोल के I can try and let go. But obviously, nobody forced me. I'm being very honest. Even when my friend, when she spoke to me about it, she's a Hindu, Isha, obviously. But उसने मेरे को कभी ऐसा फोर्स नहीं किया कि ये तू करेगी ना तो बहुत अच्छा फील होगा, नहीं. It's just that, see if it works for you. Like, it helps me. And I just tried. And when I tried it, it really did help me. It took me some time. There were times when बीच में मैं रोक देती थी. But then there were times when I wanted to hear the whole thing. And I've also felt like I felt connected also sometimes. Like when I went to Ujjain, when I went to the Mahakal temple, I mean, and the only two places I really cry, like, in terms of spirituality, and if you call, whatever you call it, one is Mother Mary, and one I felt it for Mahadev. So what I already felt for Mother Mary, whenever I go to a Bandra or I go to a grotto, I just I don't even have to talk sometimes. And that I felt with, Shivji. Like I can just close my eyes and just feel a certain way, like, and then after a point, I'm crying and then I'm fine. And then I go into my day like absolutely good. So it took some time, but you really have to. I've not just got this for the sake of it. I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, you're Catholic," and I know there are people even now who might be talking behind it. But मेरे को नहीं फर्क पड़ता है. मुझे अपने faith से बहुत प्यार है. And what you believe in is what makes you as a person.
How long did it take to see the real results?
Real results, I mean, it's to be very honest. I mean, I'm not going to twist and be very try to sympathize about it. But when I started, I that's why I said this initially, like I was doing everything really fast. It was happening very fast because it's like as if I started just at my 30. And let's be honest, for an athlete, for someone who is an athlete, if you're an athlete, 27 to 33 is your peak. So you try to make the most out of it. And I felt like ये भी हो रहा है, वो भी हो रहा है, करते जाओ, करते जाओ, करते जाओ. वो हंगर बढ़ रहा था क्योंकि सब हो रहा है, you know. So results were there. I mean, if you see body wise, then I would say 1 year. If you see mentally, it was longer. The mental, I think, more than the body, it's your mental strength which matters a lot after a point. Because even if I have to connect it to like I'm going to give you an example actually. Result, because you spoke about result, and I have a friend who never worked out, never. And because if I speak about my result, it's going to be like I've had results every 6 months. I do this, I won this. I've trained for this, I won this. Today, I could go to Latvia or I could be a judge, because that also is a reward only. In a way, that's a result because of the years that I've put. So WSWCF gave me the opportunity to be a judge, the first female judge. For me, that is also a result. But why was that result there? Is because of the number of years that I've put in for calisthenics. So they thought, okay, she's competed so many times. She was the first girl who won something. She's already, inspiring people. So for them, it was like, okay, let's get her as a judge also now. So that was it's also a result for me. So every step or every good thing that happens for me, even this year, just sitting and being able to, share my story with people, that is also a result. The result is the hard work put in 7 years. So everything I see as a result only, and everything for me is a reward. But if I have to give you an example, and I'll give you because I'm also a coach, right? So I'm going to speak as a coach now. I have a friend like who I spoke, who got me, introduced to Madhav. So she never used to work out, and I'm being very honest. And I hope this inspires you guys, because she never worked out, no strength, absolutely lean arms. I'm not kidding. And I told her, like 1 year, you start working out and this and that. Slowly, 22 हो गया, नहीं कर रही है उतना. 23 आया, उतना नहीं हुआ. 24, she only took something seriously. She's like, I have to work out now. और मैं रोज करूँगी. Result. I'll tell you what the result was. For 1 year, she non-stop worked every 4 days, 3 days, 4 days. करती थी हफ्ते में. Every time. Some days she would join me to a park. Some days I would just send her a workout, and she would do it on her own because friend है ना, I was just helping her. not training her. And this is not me personally training her also. Just her doing it on her own. Every time she'll be like, आज क्या करूँ? भेज दिया workout. ऐसे time गया 3 महीना, 4 महीना, 6 महीना हो गया. And came July, June, July. And I'd just come from my judging thing, and High Rocks was happening. It was a hype. In India, it had already become a hype because in April it happened in Bangalore, and then in May it happened in Mumbai. And now it's going to happen again in Mumbai. And I've got to know that, okay, it's happening. And someone's telling me, how come you didn't do High Rocks? I was like, I was not here and no time to train, no? Because I was in a different country and stuff. So, but it's happening again in Mumbai. Oh, okay, but I need time to train. And in July, I decided, now I can understand because I'm an athlete. So मैंने तो decide कर लिया कि मैं ये कर रही हूँ. But पता नहीं, there was something that made me believe that she would also do it. And I told her, you know what, let's do High Rocks. And this was July. I'm not even kidding. It's not like she can do pull-ups or बहुत मतलब ऐसा कुछ athlete नहीं है वो. But that day ना, she believed in herself. And she said, okay, if you're saying I can do it, I'll do it. And that's where I'm coming to the result. That 1 year of hard work or just consistency, just taking it one day at a time, working out 4 days a week, and also changing her whole nutrition, diet, and taking care of not having too much unhealthy food and all. And we've trained like just 11 or 12 sessions with my coach only. And I'm a calisthenics athlete. I don't do rowing, sledge pull, sledge push, and skiing. All these things मैं नहीं करती हूँ. वो तो करती ही नहीं है उतना. मैं तो 6 साल कर रही हूँ and मेरे को बहुत tough लगा. And I'm being very honest, बहुत tough लगा. It was tough because it was that kind of High Rocks. If you go on Google and check about High Rocks, you guys would understand that it's not an easy thing to do. And for someone like her, I'm relating it is the result. She did it. And she did it so amazingly. And for someone who's been into fitness for just 1 year, एक साल, तो तुम अगर, and the reason I gave you this example is because I want you guys to understand that 1 year can change a lot of things. Just 1 year. And that's why I say, like, discipline is what is more important than motivation. Motivation तो तुमको कभी कभी नहीं आएगा और कभी कभी तो फील ही नहीं होगा. But discipline is what will get you going and keep you going rather. So yeah, results.
What's your advice to all the young women out there who really want to get into sports or are dreaming of something big?
Yeah. Firstly, dream. It's good. Because I don't know if I dreamt as a kid, but I don't know. I just had this feeling like, or you could just say maybe the universe only manifested it for me. I might have manifested it. Because when I was young, I used to keep thinking to myself कि यार कभी तो मतलब मैं टीवी पे आऊंगी. For sports. I used to love football. I loved running. I couldn't do any of them. And then obviously when calisthenics happened, it made me feel like I was meant to do this. You know what I mean? Like वो बोलते ना कि कुछ चीज तुमको जो इतनी प्यारी है, you love it so much, so dearly, and you just couldn't get it. And then one fine day you found something and then you're so in love with it and then you never want to let it go. And this is just that, and that is what calisthenics is. So for me, my advice would be very simple, like genuinely very simple. It's not going to be like something very crazy, but I would say that dream. But when you dream, work towards that dream. Don't just dream because dreaming से कुछ नहीं होगा. ड्रीम तो हम अपनी नींद में भी करते हैं ना. सो अगर आपको ड्रीम ही करना है तो उस ड्रीम को कैसे आप रियलिटी कराओगे? Focus on that. How can you change the dream into something which you need to work for? Because I believe that no matter what you do in life, you can't get things just sitting. You have to work for it. So work for it. And if you work for it, given so much, that every time you feel like stepping back, you think of that dream. Is it worth it to step back? Like, and believe in yourself, girls. Like not just girls, even guys for that matter. I'm not biased. I love men too because I said I have some beautiful men. My husband, I have, you know, a मुंह बोला भाई जो बोलते हैं उसको, तो वो भी है. So like, and this is for both men and women. If you're going to start young, believe in yourself and believe so much that even if you think कि कोई बोल रहा है नहीं नहीं तू तो फेल ही होगा इस चीज में मत कर, तो ठीक है, अगर फेल होगा तो फेल हो जाए यार, इट्स ओके. You don't have to like, if life was about passing and failing, I failed my ninth standard. I repeated it. But I don't see any difference. I still have people who have so much respect for me. I have I have so many people who admire me. I have people who ask for advice from me, a ninth fail. So does that really matter? Like if you fail into something, please don't, and don't even think like failing will make you feel like you're not worth enough. No, man, trust me. That is just maybe the beginning. If you're failing in something, it's just going to ignite something in you that even you don't know. So it's okay to fail. What's not okay is not trying. If you want to do something, you can't just sit and have God think, yeah, I'll do it for you. No, God's not going to do anything for you. It's only you who's got to do it. And I say like, chota sa, nothing in this, no kind of work is small because I started working when I was very young. And I was so unhappy, I'm being honest. I was very unhappy. So don't be unhappy. If you're young and if you're working, do something that will make you happy. Even if it pays you less, it's fine. But find that fire in you where you feel like I'll go all out. And don't give up on yourself. That's the most important thing. Don't give up on yourself. And if somebody is coming and doing something to you and saying something wrong, doesn't mean you have to take that all. ठीक है, एक कान से सुनो, दूसरे से निकालो, and prove them wrong instead. I would suggest. Why not? Like, you don't always have to do it for people, but sometimes you have to. Just to show it to them. कि, oh, आप तो ये बोल रहे थे, but मैंने तो ये किया, तो कर दो. And don't be disheartened with failures. Success is not built with, this is important, but don't keep that as your ground level, is at least for me. I mean, I'm blessed with the right person in my life who gives me that security financially. But at the same time, don't make that your whole life. If you really love something, start with that love. This will come. ये आ जाएगा, अपने आप आएगा. You will get everything, the fame, the name, the respect, all of this. Earn it. So learn, keep learning. Knowledge is very important. And if someone teaches you something, even today I'm elder to a lot of people actually, and I have some people who are younger to me. And I don't see that as a put down when someone tries to tell me this isn't good for you. Yeah, because those people are my people, and if they are saying something कि ये मेरे लिए सही नहीं है, तो ये शायद सही नहीं होगा. बट हर किसी का नहीं सुनना होता है हमें. जो अपने लोग होते हैं उनकी बात सुनो. हर किसी का अगर सुनने जाओगे तो फिर आप अपना लाइफ कभी बना, you will never be able to make your own life. In the end, you're going to do what you have to do, but you need to make sure that you have your people guiding you with the right things also. But in the end, खुश रहो और जो भी है दिल से करो. That's very important. Do whatever you want to do. Today's generation, I feel they are like chasing. There's so much of chasing. So much. Don't chase. Let things come to you. And if you want them to come to you, you have to work for it. I don't know why people think that without working, you can have things in your life. No. If you see all the people who have done so good in life, they've really slogged, they've really worked. I'm still saying, like, I'm still not where I want to be. I still have a long way to go. I'm 37. I might have less time. I don't know. But I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep doing my thing. And I will still want calisthenics to be known as a sport and not just as an alternative to the gym. Yeah.
Thank you, Pearl, for being with us here today. I'm sure this episode will inspire and motivate not just women, but
Yeah.
also men to understand how they can support the women in their
Yes.
lives. This was a really beautiful conversation. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.